What's the meaning / purpose of life? Oh, there we go.
Oh wow.
Tarkov. It's the same thing. Okay, well, now you just made me really depressed.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the PogCast, a show dedicated to talking about all the poggers things in life, like music, content creation, video games, with a heavy focus on the first-person shooter Escape from Tarkov. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jessekazam, a Tarkov streamer, YouTuber, content creator.
And I'm Veritas, a real-life, three-dimensional human being with height, width, length, space-time, and all of the above.
All the dimensions.
I'm a multi-dimensional being. Yes,
you've got them all covered.
I've got all the dimensions. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, how you doing, bud? How's life?
I've just been busy, man. I've been like bouncing around between a million things. Been working on a new feature for Battle Buddy that is currently. I have like 99% of Hot Guns Season 2, Episode 1 done and edited. But one of the categories I wanted to do basically ballistic testing. But I wanted to use the new calculator that I created.
Oh, interesting.
So I can't finish the video until I do the calculator thing, but it's like,
there's
only so much I can handle.
You know where my brain went when you started that sentence? You were talking about Hot Guns and how it related to a Battle Buddy feature. And my brain immediately went to a tab in Battle Buddy where I just say, build me a gun. And it grabs a gun and a random assortment of attachments and builds it and then shows it to you. And it's just like, oh, I'm going to try this interesting build. Have you ever?
Actually, I literally like that feature is done.
Are you serious? Yo, that's
not
so sick.
I did it like 6 months ago.
Really?
But not the UI for it. The hard part is that on mobile, think of how hard it is to fit like the name of a part and the ergo and all of that plus an image that is big enough for you to see all on one page and then represent a gun build, like
especially since the like names of stuff can be as simple as like KAC, or it can be like Surefire X469239 compensation device blast mitigator, and you're just like, exactly. The scaling for that on mobile is ridiculous.
So building like the mobile UI is honestly the hardest part, and that's why I was gonna do.
That makes sense.
So when I did gun building, that's another feature that isn't done. But essentially, every gun, it just has like a tree of attachments. So a gun has like 7 slots, and each slot has a list of IDs for items that are compatible with it. And every item has a list of slots, each slot having a list of... So it's just a tree. It's an infinite tree. So I actually already have all of the code and infrastructure that builds every single possible combination of a gun, which includes the one that has the maximum ergonomics, the one that has the minimum recoil, and also includes 8 billion random ones, right? So it would be trivial to have all that. It's just figuring out the best way to represent those builds in the UI that isn't totally shitty.
Dude, I feel like that's such a... I mean, because we talked about that in the context of Escape from Tarkov. I feel like that's just a whole different world. It's like one thing to have an idea. It's one thing to even execute that idea as far as just coding it. But then it's a whole nother thing. It's just like, what device is this intended to be represented on? And how do you do that? Because I had that idea and I hadn't even considered how you would display to me that much information on my phone if I clicked build me a gun. So that's, that's so interesting. So, well.
Yeah, that's and mobile is its own constraint. Like trying to come up with a good user experience for something like building a gun, as we know in Tarkov, can be fucking impossible. Or at least it can be difficult, as we've seen. It's even harder when like I don't have access to a 3D simulation of a gun, and I'm not about to go through all the modeling. Like there's just no way it's gonna happen. So it would just be a list of names and stats, which you have no idea what it looks like, right? If you just have a bunch of parts, you have not even remotely close to an idea of what it looks like, which to a lot of people is important. So I kind of just was like,
Yo, I wonder.
It would be such a good feature, but
Yeah, and then it's like this is just. Remember when they talked about adding the preset system? They were like, I mean, even before the current version we have was out, they were like, and you're going to be able to share it with your friends because there's going to be like a code that you're going to be able to get. Like, imagine if all you had to do was show me a picture of like the attachments and then the code.
I mean, yeah, that the code was my idea for
Really?
Nikita.
Like, that would be
essentially
crazy.
All you would need to do is represent a tree of they're
Yeah.
just like 64 character strings. You know, 87B42, and it's just like one string has an array of IDs.
Yeah.
Each ID has an array of IDs until you get to the bottom where you have like, you know, an ACOG scope, and it's like there's nothing more you can attach to it. It doesn't have any slots. That's where the tree ends at like the furthest leaf. But yeah.
That would be interesting. But have you been playing any Tarkov recently?
I've been logging on a couple times a day to like collect my 1 Bitcoin.
Get your Bitcoin
to buy my fuel. And basically I've just been
peak escape from Tarkov.
Yeah, honestly, that's all I've been doing is I the last 3 times I've logged on, I had about 20 insurance claims. All of them expired.
Oh,
that's how much I've played.
Feels bad.
And it's been so long that I don't even feel bad about it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's not like you were like really wanting to get this gun back or something.
I don't know. I just haven't been. I think the last time we talked, maybe it was 2 weeks ago.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. I was attempting the guide. Remember?
Oh,
I had
yeah. You were like halfway through when we started the podcast.
Yep, still haven't done it.
Oh man.
Since then, I lost on the like second to last map. On interchange, it was a late spawn. I spawned all the way out by like the tank in front of the parking lot, and I ran to like where you know how there's like a jungle gym, like a little mini park thing in the parking lot, near the like there's like race cars and a stage and all that other shit, but all over on the side. I got about there, and I got shot, killed instantly from behind me, presumably, and it's like,
yep.
And then every time since then, for about 10 raids, I bought a labs key card, went in with gear, insta-died to someone sketchy, restarted the quest, except I forgot like 6 times.
Dude, why?
So I just spent like 5 million rubles. All my money is gone. I made no progress on it, and that's just like I don't fucking care.
Dude, the fact that it doesn't auto restart, that happened to me like 4 times. That's the worst. Dude, I have been like no-lifing Shoreline, which has been a map that I never played. Like it was like my 4th wipe before I like willingly went into the resort outside of you just need to go get this quest. Like I just put it off for forever, and I played actually a lot with like Geeksa and some other people like taking me, and I have been just no lifing the resort, and it's just the timing of like where we are with the wipe, the addition of Sanitar, and then the addition of like just like a new, you know, hot keyed room, which is that key with tape key or whatever in East Wing. It has been absolutely bonkers, and it has been so much fun. Now, of course, I have run into, you know, the occasional like sus encounter or the occasional just like one tap out of nowhere that sucks, but for the most part, this is how, like, you know, for me at least, that Tarkov is like in a really good, like, I'm at least enjoying it, is that like when you have a lot of fun even when you're dying, like that is like because that's always my thing, is it's like, dude, I don't really care about the gear. I don't really care. It's not like gear fear. It's I want to die and be like, holy cow, GG's. That was a good fight. Which I think is linked to a lot of the things we talked about in the past with time to kill and stuff, which we don't have to get back into. But it's just been that. It's been this combination of me like learning to master the resort, like, you know what I mean? And just like, I don't know, it feels like the resort right now feels like factory. If you get a close spawn, it just feels like factory, where it's just like instant PvP. But I just love the like accessibility of like, oh, I can drop through the floor, like instead of going to either staircase, or I can pain med up and jump off the balcony and then re-engage from here. And oh my gosh, it's been insane. It's been insane. I played a raid with my friend the other day where we got like the god spawn, like the closest spawn to East Wing. It's right behind East Wing. You just like spawn right back there and you just run straight inside. Before we got inside, like I made it inside. He hadn't yet. He got shot at. And so he stayed outside. He was like, I'm going to just regroup out here. I was like, oh, cool. I'm just going to go inside and shoot them at the back of their heads through the window. And then while I was making that play, the guys that engaged us got third-partied from another group. And so we were like, oh, okay. So then I ran up to the roof to just try and get angles on everybody. And then another fourth party pushes me from West Wing and I die. And there were 8 PMCs. We were not even 120 seconds into the raid. And there were 8 PMCs there. And it was like, part of that was like, okay, I don't even know how that's possible. These spawns are kind of scuffed. But the other part of it was like, it was actually kind of super fun. Like, it's just been like insane. Shoreline has been absolutely nuts.
Interesting. I'll the last few times I've played, it's just been like between going through and just burning cash trying to get the guide done.
Yeah.
The hard part is that, like, again, that the quest, it motivates you to, the most efficient thing is to run instantly to the exit and try to kill one thing, loot them, and get out, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the most efficient.
Yeah. Abuse the system that they put in place is the most efficient way to complete that quest.
And when you know, like, you're having trouble with it, you want to try and do the safest, most efficient thing, but that is like, there is no safe, efficient thing, right? Like, if you camp in a corner forever, then like you're leaving yourself open to just getting unlucky with somebody running by or searching that spot, or a cheater just running right up to you. Yeah. If you're running around super aggressive, like towards the exit, then it's just a coin flip whether or not somebody is going to converge with your path, right? If you were slower, then you would go after them. If you were faster, you'd go before them. But who knows? It's just completely random. So, you know, it's partially why when people are like, you should have done this or you should have done that, it's like, well, there's 9 billion.
For all we know.
Why did you just run out in the open?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just hide there? Well, because then he could grenade me. Well, why didn't you just run over there? Because there's no cover over there. Well, why weren't you undercover? And it's just like...
Yeah. There's just such an infinite amount of things that could happen and that do happen. Yeah.
But so it's just like over and over, just like burning through my cash.
Yeah.
Just to try to finish the quest.
Yep.
And then wanting to bring in like decent gear, because what's super frustrating is when you bring in like good gear to labs, you spend, you know, 1 million rubles on everything, with the ammo is mad expensive. And especially if it's like, you know, you buy BP, you buy BS, you know, you buy AP or whatever. It's like 120 rounds is one raid.
Yep.
So now you're stuck paying 1,200 rubles a round for anything that is, you know, a more of a meta ammo. And you want to, like, you know, you try to maximize your chances of success by bringing in good gear, but then you die to a bunch of cheaters. So then you're like, have no money, and you realize I just need to get lucky and not encounter a cheater. So then you bring some shit tier whatever, and then you encounter a 3-man that all suck, and they're using mediocre stuff. But like, but if I had decent stuff, I could have easily taken them down.
Yep.
And it's just that over and over and over again. It's just making me like, I just haven't been enjoying it. When I die now, it's just, all I do is I get the feeling of, I just feel like my time was wasted and I'm never rewarded for like anything.
Yeah. And I think, to be honest with you, like, that's why I kind of like, I don't know. That's why I was super happy to be done with the quests. And even like, I was playing with Geeksa the other night and he doesn't have Kappa yet. And he was like, let's just play Shoreline. Like, you know what I mean? Because the quests, a lot of times, instead of giving you, especially the late game quests. The early game ones are a lot better at just like, oh, it's a reason to go to Interchange. I've never gone to Interchange before, but some of those late game ones, like the guide, it doesn't, it just feels like you're just doing it to get it done. There's no like enjoyment. Like, I hate the guide so much. You get 2 maps in and then I just start to sweat because you're just like, this is just so frustrating. So that's almost why I've been enjoying Shoreline so much. Like, it's just been fun to just play the game. And my only goal is just to like get better at the game. You know what I mean? Because that's like, I just want to get better and have fun. And like, and Shoreline, the resort has just been this like Thunderdome of PvP where everybody's really there to just PvP and then pull out. That's the other reason why I have enjoyed going to the resort, is because you can like go there, die, go there, die, go there, die, go there, come out on top, loot the resort, and between the PvP loot and the loot in resort, you've made all 5 raids worth of profit back. So it helps with the, like, we have talked about this in the past on Factory, where like PvP is almost worthless there because so much of the time you're, exactly like you were saying, you're spending more money on ammo than you are on them. But if you make it out of a Shoreline resort raid, you know what I mean? There's a pretty good chance you're not only juiced, but you have some like a bunch of high tier stuff shoved up the old gamma, which even like a LEDX is 300,000 rubles to therapists. So even if you die with it, you can only sell them for 900,000 on the flea market. So that's of course a big discrepancy, but there's still like, you're still able to get out with enough money to pay off your, so it's been fun.
See, I need to do like the calculus on that again, because my gut reaction, which is not ever like it's never reliable, it's never fair, it's never, you know, whatever, but you know, my intuitions tend to be, I'm usually on to something, even if I, you know, I might be wrong. There might be, you know, it's typically truth to what's going through my head, especially with these things that I've spent all this fucking time researching. Sure. To me, I'm really skeptical that like what you just said works out with the numbers.
Really?
Unless it depends, right? Like if 1 out of 3 you make it out, well, that's one thing. Yeah. But if it's 1 out of 6, then, you know, I have a feeling like it's probably, if you're able to clear out, I mean, let's actually just run the numbers super rough, like do what one of my favorite things is called a Fermi estimation, where and it's actually one of my favorite types of questions to ask in engineering interviews. Okay. It's the kind of thing where it's like, how many gumballs can you fit in a school bus? Yeah. And it's like, you're not going to get the right answer, right? Yeah. It's irrelevant what the right answer is, but the thought process behind, well, think about, I know that this is a bag of 50 gumballs. Yep. And I know that if I could probably put 20 of these in a backpack, and I could put like 10 backpacks on one seat. Yeah. And there's 30 seats. So now you can just do 30 times 10. And what you end up doing is you end up in like the right ballpark where you know it's not 100 million and you know it's not 1,000. You know it's going to be like 5 figures. Yeah. So let's just think about what you're going to take in with you in a raid. Yeah. If you have, let's just say, a mid-tier loadout. Let's just say it's like a decently modded AKM with good ammo, you know, cheap helmet, maybe level 4 armor. So I mean, you're talking 60,000 for the armor. Yeah. Plus what, 20 for the helmet? What's the green helmet?
Oh, the like
the penis helmet?
Yeah. I think that's around 20K.
Let's just say 20. Like, this is all rough numbers. So 60 plus 20, and then the ammo. So you're going to be spending what, like 600-ish rounds, rubles per round on like BP, something like that. Let's just say 600 times. You want what? At least 4 mags. At least. So that's 120. Okay, so then plus meds. If you take a Salua, that's what, 15 grand or something. Painkillers are like 4 grand. Then you have the gun and the magazines, which is probably going to be like 80K. At least, for even if it's just decently modded, you know what I mean? Let's say 100K. Yeah. I would say guns and mags, even if it's just decently modded, is about 100K. And then like I wear headphones, so that's another like 35K.
Yep.
Plus a backpack, which is going to be like 15K.
Yeah.
That's on the conservative side. That's a small backpack.
Yeah.
And then insurance is usually about 15, 20
to 20, yeah.
Right. And then if you take in a couple of nades with you, that's like 16 grand.
Yep.
Am I missing anything? A rig is going to be like 10 grand. Actually, I was thinking about the level 4 armor.
Yeah, that's a rig
so
as well.
That's like 60K. So right now we're looking at let's see. It's 1 million rubles. So yeah, we're basically at 1 million.
Okay.
For a mid-tier kit.
That seems
so.
Are you sure 1 million?
Let me. I could be wrong.
Because, well, yeah, with the ammo, if it's 600 around.
600 around times 600 times 120. That's 70K.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me make sure I'm not being an idiot here. Okay. No, we're talking like my bad. I typoed in my. I'm using the fucking start menu search bar as my calculator. Okay.
Dude, I've done that before though.
So we're 355.
Yeah. Okay. 350. Yeah.
355 is what we're at.
For
so,
a mid-tier
let's
kit.
just say 350,000 for a mid-tier kit.
Yeah.
So let's say you run 5 raids.
Yeah.
And you survive 1, which if you're a solo player, I think is probably like 20% survival rate. Like my survival rate is 33%.
Yeah.
So let's just say 1 out of 5.
Yeah.
That means you are losing 350,000 rubles 4 times.
Yeah.
So that's 1.4 million.
Yeah.
And then the time that you make it out.
Yeah.
You essentially need to make 1.4 million in profit.
Yes. Yeah. Not
in order to break even.
Okay.
So
here, let's do that same math based on the 350K kit. Let's do it across 10 raids, surviving 4, because I have a 40% survival rate. So I want to know, like, because I was the one that said, oh, I make my money back. So let's use my survival rate as the example.
So if you do 60, so you're going to die six times, and you're going to live 4 times. Now, so we're looking at about 2 million in costs.
Yeah.
For the times that you died.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm assuming that if you make it out, you're probably going to drop all your shit and get that back in insurance. Insurance is such a coin flip.
It is. We can almost, if we're talking for me, I rarely drop my stuff.
Interesting. Well, that's like the only thing that even makes it remotely viable.
I don't know why. I hold this weird attachment. If anything, I'll drop armor when it's busted. But I rarely drop my stuff.
If I have like level 5 armor that's like maybe half durability and like a helmet, like if I have like a fast MT and I kill like a juiced squad and they have like maybe a decent level 4 armored rig and like another decent helmet, I'm dropping.
Oh my gosh.
I'm dropping my gun, my helmet, my rig, and my armor, because think about that right there is that's 200,000.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Just added.
I just don't, the way you're absolutely right. Like there's no argument to be made that I would make more money by keeping my own stuff on, you know what I mean? But like I just, and I think at the end of the day, you don't play this way either, where like every decision is driven by like the meta money making. Like, yeah, you're not going to like go out of your way to loot the spare bolts because you have 1 extra slot. Like I think so. But the way I look at it is if I kill a squad and I take their gear and I dump my stuff, now this raid is free. Yes. Yeah.
Because I can't lose anything now.
Yeah.
even if I die on the way out, which I fucking always do these days, I'll clear out a 2 5-man squads, and it's like, yes, I'm the victor, and then I die to a scav grenade on the way out, and it's like, at least I'll get my shit back, and it's a wash. So not only are you're like tripling your potential return, but you're also you're increasing your return and reducing the risk.
And reducing the cost, It's weird. I just have this like attachment. When I bring a gun in and I kill a bunch of people with it, like I feel like it's Old Faithful. She served me well. Like I can't drop it. I don't know why. I will.
I'm so fucking stoked to drop my shit, dude. You have no idea. That's best case scenario. That's why I hate labs.
Yeah, it depends though. Yeah. If I brought in like an ADAR, I'm ditching it. You know what I mean? But if I brought in like a 308 MDR, I'm keeping it. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? I'm walking out with that thing. And it has really nothing to do with cost, like I said, because the most cost efficient thing to do would for me to dump it in a bush. I don't know. I'm taking it. Anyway, so basically if it's roughly 2 million in cost for my 6 deaths, that means that I have to bring out a $500,000 of the 4 that I make it just to break even. You know what I mean?
It's $500,000 in profit.
Yeah.
So let's say you don't. Let's just do your thing for example. Let's say you don't make it out. You don't switch stuff.
Yeah.
So in your backpack, you are going to basically be able to fit what? Like if you had to. Let's break down what you take. What, like 1 gun, a rig, a second gun, some attachments? Like what? Break it down and let's see if we can add it all up.
Dude, so I normally bring in like a scav bag. I don't even bring in big bags. I'll bring like a scav BP. I'll get like somebody's like tech and have 1 line left in my bag and feel like I gotta go. I'm full. I'll take.
So the tech is probably damaged too, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like the tech is what? Maybe 180K, 100K.
Yeah.
But then you have to repair it, which is going to cost like 40K.
Yeah.
So the tech it's essentially 40,000 in profit, assuming that you were to sell it.
Yeah.
But you might use it.
Yeah.
But then it's filled with. Like you're not. What are the chances that out of the 4 raids that you are going to get a LEDX? Actually, I guess you can think of what are the chances of the 10 raids because it's the non-flea market price times the number of times you die.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
like how many LEDXs do you find? Because I found I think 2 ever in Shoreline ever.
So it was funny, like 2 weeks ago, I remember saying to my buddy, I was like, dude, I've been getting the terrible RNG with LEDXs this patch. And then in that last 2 weeks, I probably found like 11. So I don't know why the luck turned around. I finally killed Sanitar and he had that key with tape. And then like 2 raids later, I unlocked it for the first time and there were 2 LEDXs in there. And then the next raid we went in, I unlocked it and there was a LEDX in there. It was insane. So it's all over the place. I would say a realistic based on like spawns. You know, you spawn all the way out at tunnels. You're not getting a LEDX. You know what I mean? I would say like 1 in 10 point, you know what I mean? Maybe 0.5 to 1 in 10, but.
So let's maybe do to like average it out. Let's say 1 you sell. Yeah, let's just say 1 that you sell in the flea market.
Yeah.
That's what?
900K.
How much? 900K. Okay.
So that doesn't even cover the cost of 2 deaths.
No, so you're at 9. Yeah. So you're at 940. So now you need to figure out what else you have taken out with you that you like fill in that tech.
So here's what's crazy is
actually, well, it's tech times 4 though, right? Because you survive 4.
Yeah.
So okay.
So here's what's crazy. It's actually pretty easy. Like we're not even through this thought experiment, and you're convincing me based on the numbers that. It would be hard for me to profit on Shoreline with a 40% survival rate. You know what I mean? Like, because we're it's not looking good. We're not even done yet and it's not looking good. You know what I mean? I don't ditch my stuff. It's a lot of costs. But here's what's crazy. And I don't understand. So this is the first wipe ever. And I really mean that. Like, I'm not just trying to be like, oh, I suck at Tarkov. This is my first wipe that I have netted profit over time. Like, every other wipe, like I either take a ton of handouts from chat because I'm a poor man, or the last wipe, the 0.12 wipe, was the very first time I was like, nothing. I'm not taking nothing from you guys. And the Bitcoin farm completely sustained me. I would lose like 1 million to 2 million rubles a week, and then I would sell 40 Bitcoin. and I would make it back. And I was constantly netting negative. And this is the first wipe that I'm netting positive. Like, you know what I mean? A week and a half ago, I was at 7 million, and last night we crossed 14 million rubles. But here, I don't sell anything except for valuables, dog tags, and when my stash is full, other people's guns. I keep every piece of armor that I take out because I'm only taking out class 4, 5, or 6. I keep every single helmet until class 4 or above, unless my stash is full. So what's hard for me, it's hard if like it.
It's hard to figure out the value you get because
and it's hard to figure out cost of going into a raid because you have to like extrapolate backwards the costs of getting to where I am.
Things you would have had to have bought.
But if when I log on today, I have a thick items case full of class 5 armors and helmets. Like I can go in, take in, meta M4, 460s full of 995, attack tech, and Alton, and literally have not spent anything. I have 995 that I pulled off people that I'm too scared to run because it's just way too expensive. You know what I mean? Like so it's so hard for me to figure out cost because it's like, I can't say that truly cost me nothing because it cost me something to get those things. But I am profiting and I have a 44% survival rate or what it is. I've 97% of the raids I've run have been Shoreline Resort, and so I'm making 5-6 million rubles.
So you don't pick up like one of the things that I've been grabbing a lot lately, just because it's easy and I like honestly crafting is so fucking boring to me, but like some of the things are just they're worthwhile enough that I remember the recipes. So like the things that I'll make in the hideout are essentially the moonshine.
Yeah.
So I'll pick up sugar.
Yeah.
If I can find it, or Aliankas to make the sugar. I'll get bolts, screws, and the scissors, the tall
metal
scissors,
yeah.
Because I'll craft the mag boxes.
Yep.
And then just yesterday I ended up crafting over the course of the last few days, not playing the game, but 11 hours at a time, I crafted 3 of the mag boxes, and then you could craft the scav junk box, and then I sold that for like 700 or 800K or something.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, like I'm sitting at 600,000 right now. I have no guns, no armor, and limited meds, and my hideout I still have I haven't unlocked like fucking anything.
Yeah.
But I have like 700 raids.
Yeah.
And my KD's like 7. But I'm just trying, every time I try to do quests, I'm just purging money.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying though, is like I feel like Shoreline right now has been no questing, you know what I mean? Just like this one place, which is such a mecca for PvP and loose loot. And by loose, I mean behind keyed rooms as well. You know what I mean? That like, I don't know how the math comes out, man, but like I have just been printing money and having a blast and still dying 6 out of 10 raids. Like,
what guns do you use and what ammo?
I use way too nice of stuff. I am rocking like relatively kitted guns almost every single raid. I'll bounce back and forth between like a MP7, P90, AK-74M, AKMNs, RPKs, M4s.
Are you using like the top 1 or 2 ammo, rounds, or are you using like PS and the AKM kind of thing? What?
Always BP and AKMs, always 5.5A1 and M4s, a mixture of BS and BT depending on how much BS I have. And like the MP7 is always FMJ, which is that second tier, you know what I mean? Always. I spend most of my money on ammo. Because that, if anything, that's the only thing. But here's what I do for ammo too. Every 6 times a stream, I check and see if 5.5A1, FMJ, 9mm AP, I just check and see if these things are in stock 6 times a stream. 3 times a stream they are, or 2 times a stream they are, and I just buy as much of it as I can. I have 3/4 of an ammo case full of 5.5A1. I have half of an ammo case full of FMJ. I've got half of an ammo case full of 9mm AP. And then when I use half of it, like if I go on a bad tear where I died 4 raids in a row using all different MP7s and I've used half my ammo, I just switch to a different caliber. And so like I haven't bought ammo on the flea market for the flea market price in forever. You know what I mean? Even if
that's one of those things that you can sustain if you have like a baseline.
Yeah.
But the problem is that like I bought my way out of the sniper. You know, I spent millions of 5 million. So it's like doing all these quests that cost all this fucking money and not being like a loot goblin, min-maxing all the junk, checking all the things.
Yeah.
And also the other part of it is that I never do scav runs, which I'm sure is missed value.
Yeah, I don't really do one a night. So I start with a scav run and then
it's not that. But it's like doing all the quests costs so much money that there was a period where I think after Shooterborn in Heaven, after I took a break from quests and I got up to 5 million in like 2 days. And then all of a sudden I started doing the guide and now I've just been like
100. Well, of course.
I'm at a point where I'm at 300K. Yeah. And it's like I buy enough ammo for one raid, and now I can't build a gun.
Yeah, but that's almost what I'm saying though. It's like we've talked about this before that like 60% of the reason you get the kappa is just so chat doesn't ask you why you don't have the kappa. It's like you should almost just stop questing because when I got kappa I had like 1 million rubles because I bought everything I could. I bought every gunsmith thing. I bought my way out of the sniper mission. I bought, you know what I mean? I only had like 1 million rubles. But since then, it's been a slow net gain. And then it really ramped up. Like I hovered between 4 and 6 million rubles for like a solid month after getting kappa. And just in the past 2 weeks, we've gone from like 6 or 7 million to like 13 or 14, just no-lifing Shoreline. And I would never tell somebody to no-life Shoreline for money if that's not what they love. It just so happens to be like, I'm more comfortable with it. I've played all the other maps a ton. It just like happens to be what I'm like falling in love with playing. Like, you know what I mean? I like close quarters battles. I like learning how to like, just like, you know what I mean? You could write a dissertation on like what are the million different cues to a really good player on when they should push and when they should play slow. Because my favorite people are like Deadly Slob, you know what I mean? Who isn't just like bunny hopping through the map, pushing everything he sees. And I used to like legitimately like get so frustrated. And I'd be like, okay, I would be watching him. I'd be like, why did he choose this fight? Why is he slow creeping? Because in that last raid, he just like pushed all 6 of these dudes back to back to back to back and won. You know what I mean? So like all that kind of stuff is what I'm like learning by just no-lifing Shoreline. Because you get into these close quarters battles, often you're outnumbered. And I'm just like, how do I figure out how to do this stuff? So I've just been having fun, and it just so happened that I'm making all the money.
That's why I liked Factory back in the day.
Yes.
Well, one, because that used to be where all the juiced people went.
Yeah.
2, because scavs used to be able to have fort armor.
Yeah.
And 3, because you can get in and out. I can do 10 factory runs in the time it takes you to do a fucking 100%,
and that is a definite.
It's all about like efficiency,
Shoreline.
right?
Yeah.
So if I do 2 Shoreline raids in a night and one of them is good, I'll break even. If I do 10 customs runs or factory runs or labs runs and I make it out of half of them, I'm losing money because I used to be able, like I said, make money on factory, and then labs was the other place because I was always guaranteed. I was guaranteed to get a tac tech, a helmet, a bunch of attachments, and a bunch of grenades and meds. That would be enough so that I could sustain even the additional 300,000 rubles for the key card.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't. Maybe I just do need to like stop trying to do the guide and see if I can make some money. The thing is that like, if I'm not doing quests, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why am I playing? Because what's my motivation? Is it just for the experience? I've had every fucking experience you can have. It's not exciting anymore.
And that's
in the same
thing,
way.
Yeah. Is that like, that is what is keeping me going 100%. It's like, what is keeping me going is the fact that I came to this game from playing Fortnite on my Xbox. You know what I mean? And I came to, you know what I mean? My first entire wipe, I never hit 1 million rubles, which was different back then because there was no flea market. And my survival rate was 7%. Like, so that's where I've started from. And so like that, the experience to me is still enough to sustain because like I'm just now getting to the thought process of these 11-year-olds who are playing Counter-Strike, who are like know about flanking and know about aim, and like I'm just freaking, I'm boomering my way to just now being able to process information that fast. And it's this, and like I said, I've got 2,000 hours in Tarkov. This is my first wipe where as a player I'm netting a profit. So like it's finally like turning the tables for me, and that is why I'm having so much fun. All the problems that have been in the game for the past few months are still in the game. I still die to silent nades. I still die 4 different times yesterday. I died like 7 feet around a corner. The desync was nuts. But
see, that's
I'm
what's so
finally getting decent, and that's so much fun. Yeah. But you've been having that since your first wipe, so I get it.
Well, not since my first wipe. It took me a while.
Well, some of the
feel
skills,
confident,
a fundamental understanding of how to play an FPS game.
Yeah. But Tarkov is different than every other FPS game in a lot of different ways. But the weird thing that I'm experiencing, and I totally understand, part of this might just be maybe I'm in a rut. You know, it's been going on for long enough, and I pay attention to what I'm doing that I don't think that I'm like playing shittily. Yeah. So right now, I feel as if even though I have all the knowledge and I'm experienced and I make good decisions and I do everything I can, that it's not rewarding anymore. Like imagine if as you felt like you were getting smarter and more comfortable, but your survival rate was going down and all of your money was going away.
Yeah.
That's how it's been for me for the last couple months. And again, I'm sure part of it is mental, but I haven't been able to nail down.
For sure. I definitely would say that there's probably like a quantifiable and an unquantifiable part of it. Like you were saying, like you've played Tarkov longer than me. You started from a different place than I did, like we were saying. And so I'm sure that, there's just like a part of it, like you were saying, like I was talking to somebody about this. People are like, you know, are you ever going to thinking about doing variety? Are you going to play this game? Are you going to play that game? And I like, just like, I can understand how it'd be hard to play Escape from Tarkov if there was another game I was salivating over. I can totally understand that. So I empathize with your position on like, you're just like having what I'm having on Shoreline Resort with Geeksa when you play Valorant, because you're just like, I love it. So I come from a place where it's just like right now I'm just having so much fun on Tarkov. There's nothing else. Like I keep my eye on Star Citizen. Dead Matter's not out yet. There's just nothing else I really want to play. So that's keeping my focus. So there's like a bunch of factors, but I would say you should try doing like a night where you just like forget the quests and see if you I'm
gonna do that tonight. I'm gonna do that tonight.
Because then that'll be pretty telling on like, let's say you just like rip and you go on like an 11 win streak and you go from 300K to 3 million. If 3 hours later you're like, all right, Chad, let's play some Valorant, and you just don't care, then maybe it's just where it is.
I've got some money. Let's build 5 kits and let's go do the guide. And then I die, and then all my money's gone, and I'm right back to being like, how the fuck am I playing this game?
Dude, there was the other day. It's so true though. Like if you play the game the end game way, which is like you go in geared, you know what I mean? I'm not. You don't even have to be like Wendy Helmet slick, but just like gear. Your stash can go so fast. I literally I was doing Tetris the other night to try and get like a Tetris into my stash. Like I had no available spaces. And Chad's like, oh, you're such a hoarder. And then I died 9 raids in a row and it looked like I had a fresh account. I was like, Chad, it goes so fast. If you play the way I play, which is like I rarely, if ever, go budget. I'll die 11 raids in a row and I'll be like, all right, P90, what's the best ammo? 190. Okay, I'm going to buy I just always go like 75%. You know what I mean? If you've got your
because you have the money to sustain it.
Yeah.
Which 75% is, you're talking 500,000.
100%. I'd 500,000.
So if you have 10 million, that's 20 raids.
No, but that's the thing though.
That's one night.
Is that all I'm buying is ammo though? ammo, mags, and occasionally a helmet. Because I have a thick items case full of armor. My whole bottom half of my stash is full of armor. And then I have a thick weapons case and a weapons case full of guns broken down with no pistol grips. I don't know where I got them, to be honest with you. Actually, you know what? Where I got all the guns? I got all the guns doing the stupid sniper missions. Because you kill 3 people, you take all their guns, and you're like, guess what I get to bring into my next raid? Another Mosin. And so you chuck them in the stash and you go in again. So, but that's why I'm saying it's weird, where it's like I'm bringing in 500,000 ruble kits every raid, but I'm only spending 75,000 rubles a raid. So I can die forever. You know what I mean? Not forever. But
yeah, but that's only because that's like a millionaire being like, I have no problem paying off my loans. You know, my credit score is great. Well, yeah, it's because you already have the money.
Yeah.
You can have a shit run of luck, and you can sustain it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like,
part is like how. And maybe I'm just a fucking noob, and maybe I'm a boomer, and now I'm bad, and everybody else is better than me. You know, like that's not out of the realm of possibility. But
yeah,
I just don't understand how people can quest and make any money.
That I don't know. I agree with you. I don't know how people can quest and make money in Tarkov right now. The other thing is, you know what the biggest thing is? It just hit me like a light bulb. This is actually probably solves everything. I almost always play with a duo. That changes everything. You get 99% of your insurance returns back, unless you both die, and it's just different.
But even then, there's a coin flip. Is if you happen to have slightly worse gear than your boy, they're gonna take his shit. So like, there's just every part of it. Or they'll hide your stuff for you, increasing the chances of you getting it back.
Yeah.
There's more for your enemies to choose from, or like that has to be exponentially more. That's I mean, I know that there are solo players who are godly and who make tons of money and whatever, but
you're saying that.
But I mean, that has to be significant
to the value, like having another person is significantly kind of, even in a bunch of ripples that we can't even get to, how it helps.
You're getting hit less, which means you're using less. Like you are making it so that you're going to use half the meds, half the ammo, half the chances of dying. Well, not half, but you know what I mean. Like you're reducing all
theoretically
of the things.
Half,
You're reducing all of the costs and increasing all of the potential profits. Because that's the other thing is that if I kill a 4-man squad, I can't take their gear out.
Yeah, exactly. Which goes back to why you were saying like you always ditch and I don't always ditch. You know what I mean? A lot of times it's like, if like a 3-man comes and I just end up killing them all, I'll just fill up and then be like, yo, take whatever's left. You know what I mean? Whereas if I was solo, I'd dump every single piece of stuff I had to maximize what's out.
Which also increases your chances of dying.
But here's the thing though, it's like I'm not saying you were saying that I should be ashamed of that, but I'm like so not ashamed to run duos because like it's just fun. Like it's just, at least for me, it's so much fun. And I think for the same reason why like Valorant is fun with 4 people in Discord as opposed to queuing up with randos. Because like the more you learn your team, I only play with like 4 or 5 people. And a few of them like, so like Geeksa has been one of the guys that has like, he was like, we duoed the first time. He's like, let me teach you Shoreline. Let me show you the way. And so now when we duo, I like will get out of a fight and I'll just go into a room and sit down and like react to the fight we just had with chat. Because I'm like, chat, who am I? When did this happen? Because we just like, we've got comms down. You know what I mean? There was just this one fight where, and another reason why I love Shoreline is if you make it in the resort, you almost never get one tapped out of nowhere because there's so many audio cues. Maybe you don't know what floor they're on, but there's glass. They have to run to get inside. There's so many audio cues. You almost always knew that there was an enemy before you die. And so we're inside and there was like a 3-man coming and we split. He ran all the way around. We pushed these guys. It was a glorious symphony of a play. And I just like, I was like, chat, this is Escape from Tarkov. I was like, oh my God, like, I don't care. Leave all the loot behind. It was so much fun. And so the duo thing I've been trying to play more solos because I think that there's a lot of value in being a player that can play solo for sure. Yeah. But my God.
I played with Geek too, man. And playing with Geek's a fucking excellent teammate. Dude, I think he's probably the best person that I've duoed with, and a lot of people have been saying this, and I think I'll have to agree with them that at some point soon we should definitely duo, even just like a change of pace for me. The only thing I don't like about duoing is I have so much shit going on with the stream.
Yeah.
I have music playing, I'm playing guitar, I'm programming, I'm answering questions. So to have to deal with all of that and somebody talking in Discord,
yeah,
it's like so fucking distracting, because it's like I'm talking to 400 people in chat while coding an app, while the thing is loading up
100%.
and then answering questions, and then and then I die
100%.
and then they're still in it, and I just have to like wait there and like mute myself, and it's just so much extra work from a streamer's perspective to duo. That's honestly the biggest reason. It's not even that I don't like it. It's just that
in game,
it's a pain in the ass.
Because I mean, when you think about it, like that might sound like I get it, man. Because at the end of the day, you're running a production, especially somebody like you that literally has like musical instruments. Like you said, you're oftentimes like coding an app. Like, you know what I mean? It's not just like I'm playing a video game, hop in, bud. You know what I mean? I get that. And there have definitely been times where like a 9-mile long TTS thing is going while my partner's like, they're in the next floor. And I was trying to answer a chat thing and I'm like, I don't know what to do. But from a Tarkov perspective, with the amount of squads that are in the game now, it's been so fun to like nail down comms with people and be able to like execute plays. I also think that I think from a streaming perspective, there are definitely cons to playing with people, and I won't play 3s or 4s because Discord gets insane. But there's cons because it is harder. Exactly. I mean, I'm talking to chat, I'm answering a question, or maybe I'm just starting like a really juicy convo and you know what I mean? Somebody comes over. But I think there are a few benefits in the sense that like you're basically forced to speak your thought process. You know what I mean? And then chat gets an insight on like what you're thinking. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They get the play-by-play because it's like, I hear them coming front side stairs. I'm going to stay here. You should go there. Oh, I should. Oh, I see one. It just kind of gives a little depth. Whereas when I play solo, I find myself not speaking for like 3 minutes when I'm in a fight because I'm just like processing like everything. You know what I mean?
I'm literally like in the middle of a fight, answering questions, debating people. Like,
I don't get how you do that.
So that's the thing, is that when I'm with a duo, all of my attention goes to that.
Yeah.
So that I'm like, sorry, chat, I'm ignoring you for the next 5 hours.
Yeah.
Because I'm so focused, and also like my Discord's on my stream PC. So if I want to mute myself because I don't have push to talk, I need to reach over, hit the mute button, answer the question, reach over, hit the unmute button, and be like, hey, sorry, I missed something. You know, and that's 100 times every fucking 5 minutes in the middle of fights during raids where it just feels like a different stream for me.
Yeah.
It feels like when you watch someone like the Doc or Shroud, they're like, no, well, Shroud reads chat. Well, not anymore. Recently because
it's impossible.
Because it's impossible. But like when you have so many people, like those folks are reading 1 out of every 100,000 chat messages, where I read every single chat message.
Yeah.
And anything that's directed at me, I respond to like pretty much right away.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely
feels like a totally
experience.
It's a different experience for me when I'm in a duo, because I just feel like I might as well just hit stop streaming and just do it offline, right?
Yeah. I see that. And that's, I really do think that's super valid. Yeah. It was for me, it was like necessity to enjoy the game. And so I think everyone in my channel is used to it. And there's definitely something to be said for that, right? Like you've streamed 3,000-4,000 hours, 98% of them as a solo player. When you say it's a different experience, you're not just saying that for yourself. You're also trying to protect the experience that the people that come watch can expect. So I totally get that.
And there's one last element that I want to talk about, and then we can switch topics. But it just seems like, and maybe the power level of the player base has gotten better. I'm sure it has.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I'm washed up. Maybe there's a million explanations. I don't want to make like any excuses because it's like all on the table, and I'm sure it's a combination of multiple factors. But like these days, it just feels like, even though I know somebody's there, I have an audio cue. I'm waiting for them. I'm leaned over. I have meta gun and the meta ammo. They peek me and I go to shoot them and then I die. And it's like,
yeah,
I just feel like I can't win any fights. And it's such a coin flip sometimes that I've been paying attention to this and I've been talking about this for like a year now, where the patterns that I see, they and I compare my gameplay and I compare the experiences and my decision making and everything, and there's not drastic swings in like when I play Valorant, I know when I'm having an off day. It's obvious I'm playing like shit. It's night and day. I know when I'm off. I can feel it. Tarkov can feel great and I can still just get fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
And there's something, I'm telling you, like some point in the future, I'm going to crack this, or someone else is going to say, hey, just so you know, all the cheats were 98% off on Mondays at 6 p.m. and on Wednesdays and on like there's something that's affecting the gameplay sometime. It could be my brain.
Yeah. It
could be server performance. It could be time of day. There's just something that the game just does not feel good right now.
Don't you think that is the fundamental change of how Escape from Tarkov is played? Like, I'm trying to think of a good example and a good analogy, and this isn't a perfect one, but like, you know what I mean? It's like so the fastest mile, I know that there was like a specific time people were trying to break. It was like they wanted under like a marathon. They like nobody could break like under 4 hours or whatever it was. And for like decades, the goal, like every runner's goal was like this thing. And then somebody did it. And the preceding years, like 11, 12, 13, 14 people did it. Like it took decades, but all it took was one person to like prove it was possible. And then everybody changes the way that they do it. I feel like just the way Escape from Tarkov is played by applying the pressure of, you know, hundreds of thousands of new people, and then you birth the Giga Chads, like, you know what I mean?
Are you saying that all of my Anatomy of a Firefight videos have turned against me and now everybody's better than me? That's what you're saying?
No, not even better, but different. Because what happens when, let's just like, I'm going to bring up Landmark, but please no one take this as like anything negative. I watch him every night before I go to bed and dream about becoming as good as him. So this is nothing against him. But you look at a guy like Landmark, maybe I'm wrong. You might be the authority on this, but it feels like 2 years ago, there were so many less people that moved like him. There weren't as many like bunny hop, peek, jump. You know, I mean, Quattro Ace like coined the like, I'm going to jump, free look left, and then free look, and I'm just going to jump past the door until I figure out where you are, and then I'm going to pre-fire you where you are.
I don't encounter people like that, though. I don't encounter the Giga Chads.
I don't encounter people like that. But what I feel like is everybody that I encounter is trying to be that. That's what I feel like. I feel like what happens is now these guys stream to tens and thousands of people, and then people are like, holy cow, he's winning. He just went on a 37 raid win streak. And so what's happened is it's like the trickle down effect has just changed how people play. And people play a little bit more to Peeker's advantage. People play a little bit more aggressive. People play a little bit differently. And so it just feels like the game has changed. Even since when I started playing, people are more aggressive than they used to be. People just like, it just feels like fights are different. And so it's not that they're better or worse, but it's just like the old principles of like what would net you a win 2 years ago in Escape from Tarkov. I mean, I might not be explaining this well, but it seems to me that there's no way that would have remained the same with 200,000 new people playing the game.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I need to like, the only way that anybody could be objective about this is
that's very true.
If you have like a giant sample size. I just feel like, and maybe the meta has changed and everything, but I don't know. I just don't feel like I'm dying to people who are aggressive or what. It feels like people. There's no way to. I hate this because like I don't want to blame it on cheaters.
No,
I don't want
anything
like that because that's bullshit and it's not fair, and you know but like the feeling I get is when you're playing against somebody who has information that you wouldn't expect them to have, where it either feels like cheaters or stream snipers, or that happens just enough
Yeah.
to make it so that it taints every other experience, to then when you have a legitimate thing, you're like, was it a cheater? I don't know, because the last 5 times I played on labs, somebody just the most blatant thing you've ever seen, with an M1 going through walls and instantly turning and flicking and aim locking on stuff, and then the next time you die to somebody who does an insane jiggle peek that might have been like war on landmark level godly. It's like, what are the chances that
or even
everybody I encounter are that good all the time? To me, it's more likely that it's 1% or 10% of the time they're that good, and 90% of the time they're cheaters and some other bullshit. I don't know. I don't know.
I get what you're saying. Like, exactly. It is so hard to talk about this the way we want to, because we want to talk about it with like hard data, and it's such a thing. It's so hard to do that. But like, I get that what you're saying is like, you haven't changed the way that you play the game. Escape from Tarkov hasn't fundamentally changed too much in the point and clickiness of it. Just like shoot heads and you'll win. But survival rate
in every
is plummeting.
Everybody always says my opinions is not valid because I'm a Tarkov god and I'm an Uber Chad and I know life it. And they don't realize that I have no fucking money. I can't do the quests, and my survival rate is shit, and my KD is shit, and as far as I can tell, nothing significant has changed on my end. Maybe it's just now it's like more mainstream, and I was only above average because it was a niche game, and it's easy to be above average. Like, it's easy to be a big fish in a small pond. Maybe that's the case.
I don't know. I just think, like I said, I think it's a combination of a bunch of things, but something in my gut really just tells me that, like, you know what I mean? 2018 Tarkov was like 97% people that have at some point in their life put like 100 to 1,000 hours into like DayZ, or you know what I mean? Something like that. It was like
you said 2018?
Yeah, like 2 years ago, before drops, before anything. You don't think so?
Dude, if that was the case, then why was my average win streak 30 in a row, and why was my KD 20 or 30?
Oh yeah, no. I'm not
in
saying,
2018.
I'm not saying they were.
Everybody's a god now.
Yeah,
and I feel like back in the day in 2018, everybody sucked, and everybody was coming from fucking Roblox and Minecraft, and now Tarkov is all the people that are CS:GO gods.
No, that's kind of what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, I'm trying to make the point that the game was played differently in 2018, because these people, like, it felt more of a survival game.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that because they came from DayZ they were bad or good. I'm saying like, once again, like, nobody could argue that a guy like Smoke is bad. He's good, but he plays a different video game than Landmark does. It's just like
completely
100%. But that's what I'm saying. Is like, on the scale of Landmark to Smoke, in 2018, everybody was closer to Smoke. And in 2020, everyone's trying to be Landmark. So what I'm saying is that how would it be possible that the just like 99% of your fights weren't somehow affected in some way by all the CS:GO guys, all the Call of Duty guys, all the guys that want to be Giga Chads? Somehow that has to play a part in just how the game is played, and it has to have contributed. It just feels like, I don't know.
Today, the way I look at it is, it's either going to be I'm going to get dicked on the whole night, and at least then I'll have a bunch of clips that I can look over and say, why did I die? Was this guy Uber chatting, jumping out all over the place? Was he sketchy? Did I make a bad decision? Was my aim slow and shitty because I'm, old? Yeah. Or I'm going to have a good day and I won't have any data to back up, anything. I won't know why I had a good day, if it's because of my mindset, if it's because of the enemies, if it's because total RNG, if it's because they just did a ban wave, or what, right? Like, if the servers are good today, I won't know why.
Yeah.
But at least then I will have a good day. So
yeah. At least then I'll have had fun. Yeah, dude, it's rough. It's hard for sure. I really am benefiting from the fact that I was so bad when I started. So my fuse of enjoyment is just so much longer. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I think that was good discussion. We both put out in our Discords a little AMA, kind of like ask us questions, Tarkov, non-Tarkov related, anything like that. So I think there's not a whole lot going on as far as like news or changes in the Tarkov world. None of us have any info on 12.8, on 13.0, on Streets, on Wipe. We just don't have anything. You know what I mean? So we figured we would do some Q&As on just some Tarkov stuff, some streaming stuff, just stuff. You got anything that stuck out to you from the questions right off the bat?
Yeah, I like having an extremely strong stance on controversial topics that to where my opinion is in the minority. There's something about that I love. I don't know why.
It just feels good.
I like if I'm surrounded by 100 people and they all disagree with me and I know that I'm right, that
You're
makes
like,
me feel good.
Yes.
Although that's like every flat earther too, so you have to be careful. The thing is that there's a lot of nut jobs.
Yeah.
But
there's a difference
also
between thinking you're right
idiots.
and being right.
Yeah, there's a difference between having like evidence and reason. But anyway, so one of the first questions is how do you feel about strategies such as extract camping, door camping, things like that, and other usually frowned upon tactics? So for me, there is, as much as I hate dying to any of the things, there is no right way to play a game.
Yeah.
If you want to immerse yourself and you want to, if you wanted to play this game like in role play, like you would in real life, you bet your ass I am going to take one footstep every 14 minutes and make no noise and have my back to the wall at all times, and just like not make, don't make a fucking noise. Did you ever play hide and seek as a kid?
Dude.
And you like run, hide in the closet and you're like, you're so out of breath, but you can't make any noise. That is what it would be like for me at war, which is exactly like all those fucking campers and everything. Like there's no wrong way to play the game.
Yeah.
I don't think that if something like exit camping is a real problem, then it's up to the developers to decide how they want the game to be played and design the game such that those things are not rewarded. I'm not even going to try to come up with a way to solve exit camping. I don't know. Like the only reason why exit camping is a thing in this game is because there's, on interchange, there's one way in, one way out. There's basically two ways out, and that people are going to have to pass by you with all of the shit that they made it out with in the next 20 minutes. It's that definition by definition is going to motivate people to exit camp. And when you make it so that you can't, that only 2 rooms are locked and have gear, and if you don't have those keys and you want the gear in there, you're going to wait for somebody to fucking open it. That's a design issue with the game. People can play the game how they want. They should play the game how they want. I'll die and I'll complain when someone's an Uber Chad, when someone's jiggle peeking with shitty ping, with if they're camping, if they're not camping. I'll bitch and call everybody a piece of shit that kills me no matter what they do. And it's all just me being salty at the game, and it has nothing to do with what they're actually doing, because at the end of the day, what wins or what makes it so that you're enjoying the gameplay is what matters. So
I agree.
That's my opinion.
I completely agree. I think at the end of the day, like, it's like I will 100% do the same thing. If I die to an extract camper, I will be salty. And there's a difference between being salty and saying that somebody should like stop playing a game. You know what I mean? Like these are video games. We're going to get salty, and I will get salty at an extract camper. But absolutely, like Tarkov is almost like designed for extract campers. You're risking everything you bring in the raid. You know exactly where your enemy's going to be. Almost
you have to stand still for 20 seconds in the same spot, because that's how exfiltrations work. Is that the helicopter doesn't come in until you show up and go.
Let me drop the ladder now.
and then you got to wait there. I mean, think about it. Extract camping would be much less of a thing if there was more extracts and you didn't have to stand in a fucking box with no cover for 20 seconds or whatever,
100%.
right? If you could just, if there was, imagine interchange with 12 extracts.
Dude.
That where 8 of them are available to anybody at 100%. Any time that don't involve janky shit like, you know, dropping your backpack and going through the sewer, but then also you extracted when you went through the fucking door.
Yep. Dude,
problem solved.
I completely agree. I have been saying for so long, dude, like you pull up a map of the customs extractions, there's like 20 of them. But oh wait, 14 of them are only for scavs. What? Like, I don't get that. Like, if you unlocked all the extractions on a map available to PMCs, but it was a roll on when you got into a raid, you only get access to 3 or 4 of them, then you don't know if you're going to run into a player at an extract or not. Somebody else might have the same extract, they might not. And then extract camping is so much harder, but still viable if that's what you wanted to do. And then, if they made the time to extract different, a little bit shorter, it would be insane. But I agree with the thought process of like, play the game in a way that's fun. And there's like 2 sides to the coin. It's like, I believe that you should be able to extract camp, but I also don't want you like coming in high and mighty like you're the best Escape from Tarkov player in the world if you extract camp. Like,
no, I mean, the thing is that it works because of poor game design.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, now there's a difference between extract camping and somebody who's just camping. Whereas, like, if you're a sniper, you're like trying to do shooter born in heaven.
You're
by
camping.
Fucking definition, you're camping. Like it's a stupid term that you know people complain about for no reason. And there's no way you could know if somebody's camping unless you knew that they were in that spot for a wicked long time and hadn't moved. Which in that case, the only way you could know that is if you were in the same spot watching them not moving.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's such a pointless thing. It's only annoying because again the game design element.
Yeah. And because you could have spent 40 minutes in a shoreline raid ripping, making all the right decisions and then die. And once again, it comes back to the risk, what you're risking at that point. You're not just risking your own stuff, but all this potential profit. And that makes any death feel worse, just to begin with. But at the end of the day, like Tarkov extractions are in no way safe. There can often be scavs nearby. You could run into another player that's just trying to extract. You could run into a player that's extract camping. At the end of the day, like if you're playing the game, the whole point of the game is that you need to be 110% focused from the second you spawn to the second you extract. That's the vision. That's one of the key ones. And so I completely agree. I agree with you at every spectrum. Are there game design things that can be done to make extract camping less of a deal? Absolutely. Even if those things don't come into the game, should extract campers be banned? Absolutely not. Like,
yeah,
but I always want to ring in the other side of it. Like when people are like, it's the viable strategy. Like it's like, yeah, but don't expect to win a popularity contest. You know what I mean? It's like just expect to get salted on, but take their loot and profit from it. But don't like
exactly. The biggest thing for me is I totally sympathize with the idea of you're not safe until you extract. But at the same time, imagine if there was a giant hallway where you had to run down the hallway and you were forced to run down the hallway. And you know what I mean? Like, if you're leaving interchange, I can make it so that I am not like, how do I limit my chances of getting killed by an extract camper? All I can do is run. Yeah. All I can do is run through the open fields to the exit and keep an eye open. Yeah. But if there's somebody just prone with a sniper rifle, I'm not going to see their pixels. So it's not like I was being careless. It's not like I wasn't paying attention. It's so easy to just put your crosshair at head level when they're running along a flat plane. And at that point you're playing Guitar Hero and you just click. Bloop. It's not hard. It's too easy to hit shots like that. Yeah. That's why to me it's so frustrating. But again, that's because it's a coin flip. It's a 50-50 chance that if someone's exfil camping,
Yeah.
they're going to be at your exfil. If there's 8 exfils, well, now you've just reduced that from 50% to 12%, right?
And what? So and like if each PMC, if we doubled the amount of extractions or more, the amount of extract camping would go down to like sub 1%, because we talk about this all the time. The timing of Tarkov. If I spawn into a raid, hit a hidden cache, find a LEDX in there, I'm like, I gotta go. You know what I mean? Or you kill a guy with a thing you need, like. So it's not like we all move as a unit to the extract and then have to fight there. We're all there at different times. So you have to account for dead PMCs. You have to account for PMCs that extracted before you did. You have to account for PMCs that are still in the raid and are going to extract later. And then with double the amount of extractions or more, it would be almost such a non-issue. You know what I mean? Because like the chances of that happening would be so small. Yeah, I agree. But yeah,
we can hop to one of your questions.
This was an interesting one. Do you think implementing more survival elements into the game can improve the game by increasing longevity compared to being basically a team deathmatch now? Which that last sentence really kind of was like made it interesting, because we were just talking about like, man, you get Kappa, and the only incentive to play the game is just PvP. Like, you know what I mean? It really, it's like it does sometimes feel like a team deathmatch with AI. You know what I mean? So like, what are your thoughts on like adding
what it doesn't?
Yeah,
no,
it doesn't specify what survival elements.
But no, any survival element that they can add to the game at this point, above and beyond what we have, to me, it does not add value. All it does is detract.
Okay.
In my opinion, from where the game is now, because think about it. I'm somebody who's not. I'm not like the worst player in the world. I might not be the best, but like, I feel like I should be like average, right? All that those additional survival mechanics are going to do is make it harder / more annoying for me to make it out of the raids I already don't fucking enjoy dying in.
Yeah, that's true.
I just
the inherent risk of like just the fundamental principle of Tarkov, where you lose everything you have if you die. The more things that you add that can kill you, or
the more costs that you have to incur just
to survive.
Just to survive.
That's a really interesting perspective and way to put it, because like, you know, we all talk about, well, not we all, but like people talk about an end game. What is Tarkov's end game? What is Tarkov's end game going to be? What do they want it to be? And it's like, it is interesting because you do almost have to consider that, just like the way that it's designed, the way that the game is put in. Like you can't just keep heaping on costs to the raid or things that can kill you. So that really is like a interesting way to put it, because it's true. It would just be frustrating. Like it would be a cool mechanic maybe, but then, you know, 11 raids later, you would just be like, oh, it's just another thing to think about.
I mean, it's just, imagine when they added out of raid healing.
Yeah.
All it is another button that I have to press and less money that I make per raid.
Yeah.
That's all that does. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Now I need to fill up my water meter and fill up my whatever meter, and it's just another button that removes rubles and doesn't add any value to the game. I'm sure that there are things that they could do, you know, if it wasn't like an 85% chance I would get one tapped in a raid, and I can actually make money easier from more raids, and I could be in a raid for 2 hours, then all of a sudden the survival elements are interesting. But if I can't survive 10 minutes into a raid and they make it open world, well, then now I can't fucking survive 10 minutes into a potentially 10-hour raid. Why do I need to bring water and fucking food with me? You know, like,
I see what you're saying.
I don't know.
That's interesting. Yeah. I think that makes sense. And we're still so far away from the end that it's hard to, you know what I mean, figure out. It's hard to even talk about it because we're so far away from, you know, is open world even coming at all? You know, what, like, there's just so many building blocks that aren't in the game yet that it's hard to kind of speculate on that. Yeah. All right, what you got?
What's the meaning / purpose of life? Oh, there we go.
Oh wow.
Tarkov. But it's the same thing. Okay, well, now you just made me really depressed. There is no objective meaning or objective purpose to life, just like pretty much anything else. And this is my opinion, of course. I won't speak for Jesse, but there is no objective purpose or meaning to life. Any purpose or meaning that you have is yours and yours alone. There's not some external objective source / entity that bestows meaning or purpose on there. It's whatever you give it.
There we go. I like that. That's
also pizza.
Well, that.
Speaking of, this has been sitting here for so long.
Ooh.
And too many people fucking make fun of me for eating on stream that I've been staring at that for an hour. It's cold. And these French bread pizzas are just...
Bro.
I'm not eating it for you, chat.
Pizza is life.
Shit.
Pizza.
What about you? Do you want to crack at this or no?
What's the meaning of life? I mean...
Yeah.
No. I don't
Okay.
like, I mean, I agree with basically everything you said. That it's like there's not like, yeah, it's just what meaning you assign to it as you live it. We'll just go with that and move. That's too deep. I'm not ready to process that. Here we go. How much for you guys to shave your beards? I feel like it would be way more for you than, or way less for you than me.
I mean, I'd start the bidding at 5,000.
Wow.
I mean,
see, I'm so bad at that game, though. I'm so.
The last time I shaved my beard, I set like a sub goal, and it was like it ended up being about $5,000.
That's
over
amazing.
like in one day.
That's amazing. Wow. So you're telling me I need to set up sub goals for things.
And my beard this time around is better than it was before.
Bro.
It's getting there. It's not quite Jesse level, but I'm actually...
Oh, dude, I was about to say, your beard's pretty long. It's probably similar length to mine now.
I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling good about it.
Bro, do you trim it on your own? Or do you have somebody do it? I guess in the world we live in right now, that would be hard.
Well, no, I still my barber. They do like full service stuff. There's just these masks and all kinds of other shit. But it depends. Most of the time, I try to just leave it for them.
Yeah.
Leave it for my barber. But every now and then, it gets a little bit gnarly, and I'll just clean up the part under here. But I don't I don't try to like line it up or do anything like that.
Yeah, because that was a turning point for me. My beard was so rough for so long because I tried to do it all on my own, but finding somebody that I trusted to actually like shape it and keep it up. Yeah. I have no idea. I'm so bad at that game of how much would something cost, because if it's something I don't want to do, like shave my beard, I'll just be like, oh, $1 million. But if somebody set a briefcase down with like $5,000 in front of me, I don't know that I could say no. So I literally have no idea how much it would cost for me to do that. I don't want to shave my beard at all. It's been like 7 or 8 years since I've seen my chin.
So then, don't. See, the thing is that I set that dono goal after I'd pretty much already made up my mind that I was going to shave my beard.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, yeah.
No, don't make me
No, we're so close, Chad. Yeah. I mean, I feel like there will come a day that I will want to shave it and start over, you know what I mean? Because like I have so much life left to live, and that's not now. It's not now. Somebody asked with Streets of Tarkov coming and this, this rumored 40 player count. The question was along the lines of like, do you think the game will feel different? Or do you think it will be more of the same? Which I found was an interesting question because there have been so many things that were like going to change the game completely. And then 3 days later, you're like, yeah, this is just Tarkov with this minor annoyance or inconvenience or XYZ. So that question, I guess, catches me because my gut reaction is to be like, Streets is going to change it.